Andrew John Fletcher, always known as Fletch, was born on July 8, 1961 in Nottingham but grew up in Basildon, Essex. As a teenager, he became friends with Vince Clarke, who, like him, was fascinated by the emerging electronic music of the late 70s. The two of them first played together in a short-lived local band called No Romance in China, with Clarke on guitar and Fletch on bass guitar. After that band fizzled out, Clarke and Fletcher decided to form a new project and invited another Basildon musician, Martin Gore, to join them. The three became Composition of Sound, with Clarke on guitar and synth, Gore on synth, and Fletcher handling bass and synth duties. In 1980 they asked Dave Gonn to be their singer, and it was Gonn who suggested they rename themselves Depeche Mode, after a French fashion magazine he had seen. From that point onwards, Fletch would be part of every chapter of the band's story. He never claimed songwriting credits, that was Gore's domain, nor was he the frontman like Dave, but Fletch's presence was indispensable. On stage he provided layers of textures, bass synths, drone sounds and atmospheric effects, often so subtle that audiences barely noticed. Off stage he was the organizer, acting like the band's proxy manager and spokesman, stepping in wherever practical details threatened to derail things. There was one moment when a journalist asked, "So, what exactly do you do?" And Fletch replied, "We manage ourselves, so I like to take care of that side of things." Another time he joked, "Martin's the songwriter, Alan's the good musician, Dave's the vocalist, and I bum around." He accepted those self-deprecating quips with a wry smile, knowing full well how much he mattered. Even his voice in backing vocals was framed by self-effacing humour. He admitted his bandmates had gently discouraged him from singing on tracks, with Martin and Alan's harmonies being so very red-hot, but he quipped that maybe his voice was better than people thought. And even if Fletch didn't always show up in the credits, he was important for the vibe. Offstage stories bring out another side of Fletch entirely. He was unbeatable at chess on tour buses and backstage, and always game for a pint and a bit of football chat. He was a dyed-in-the-wool Chelsea fan. During the intense devotional tour, the endless rhythm of nearly 187 gigs became overwhelming. Fletch had a breakdown, describing the pressure as a snowball tumbling down, finally smashing in Denver, Colorado, where he stepped away from the final leg of the tour to recover. Tensions occasionally boiled over. Around the time of the devotional tour, there were reported backstage disagreements involving Fletch and Alan Wilder, reflecting the pressure they were all under. Despite these moments, the band had to carry on and perform as if nothing had happened. During the recording of the album Spirit, things got so heated that the band's manager literally manhandled Fletch out of the studio, still shouting, "I'm in the band, why aren't I in this conversation?" so that Martin and Dave could hash out their creative differences in private. Despite it all, Fletch loved music deeply. In 2002, he launched his own label, Toast Hawaii, as an imprint of Mute Records, named after the Hawaiian ham, cheese and pineapple toastie. He signed the electro act Client, even DJing to promote them. He'd spin modern electro and classic tunes from Yazoo or Donna Summer, loving both the nostalgia and the dance energy. During the pandemic, his connection to Mute Records remained steadfast. He'd check in with staff, meet new hires, and when venues opened up, he'd show up to support bands, even chatting up Vince Clarke at an Erasure show or catching a Chelsea match. He made friends everywhere. Fletch balanced his public life with a quiet private one at home. He married Grain Mullen in the early 1990s and had 2 children, Joe and Megan, whom he adored. He worked behind the scenes tirelessly, whether managing tours or crafting the perfect electronic sound, yet remained unpretentious. He once said he and the band lived totally normal lives, going to the pub or cinema, and only occasionally being recognised, keeping a grounded presence despite global fame. After more than 40 years with Depeche Mode, and joining them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction in 2020. Fletch died suddenly on May 25, 2022, from an aortic dissection. His passing hit the band hard. Dave admitted it still felt unreal. He expected to hear Fletcher's voice out the door or smell him lighting a cigarette backstage. "Put that thing out, Fletch. I've got to sing later." In his will, he left nearly £47 million, mostly to Grain, Meghan and Joe, and even specified £15,000 for a remembrance party so people would celebrate his life with a drink and a laugh, just as he would have wanted. His legacy isn't built on chart credits or flashy solos. It's in the sustained cohesion, wit and warmth he brought to the band. He was their anchor, their organiser, the quiet backbone. Fans remember him clapping along with the crowd, full of joy, letting the others take the glory while keeping the band moving forward. That blend of humour, humility and unwavering support, that's what made Fletch unforgettable.